Okay, so if you're like me, you love to buy makeup, different palettes, and when you buy it, you love one or two colors from the collection, and then there's another palette that has a different color from the collection that you really like, and you go on, so forth and so on. So a lot of the times what I ran into a lot was that I had to thumb through various palettes to get the look that I was looking for just on a daily basis. So what I found was the Z palette. Now this is the one by for Sephora. They do have some bigger ones like this size here. You can go online and check it out, but this particular one is small. It's meant for eyeshadows, but it worked out perfect for me. It is a magnet, and so what you do is you take your little pods and you pull them out, okay, and you can reorganize them however you like, and it just sticks and it doesn't fall. And so foundation color, blush, brow, eyeshadows, and I'm done. So I just need one palette, and it is the best thing ever. So if you stop by Sephora, get you a Z palette, or you can order a bigger one online if you like. So I'm going to show you how to make this. Some palettes that you buy, like this one here, by I think it's Mirabella or Mirabella, I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, so this particular palette has holes on the back of the palette. And what that is for is that their palette, they make it to where you can take a, let's see if I can take this one. You're going to stick your tool in the hole on the back, and you can pull out the little pot, and you can interchange them in a different order or different colors or whatnot. Okay, so you have your foundations, blushes, shadows, etc. Okay, that is this particular palette. It's very easy to work with. So this blush color that I have here, okay, came from this palette here. So that's my blush. Okay, love the color on that. For my foundation though, I like this one by the foundation by Sephora, the powder. And this one was a little bit trickier to get out. This is a little palette for it. Again, you can do any palette, but this pod, the round pod, was in here. So what I did is I took my tweezers and I pried open the bottom part of the palette. Okay, take that off, and that part of the palette is just, I guess, the base. Okay, I had some glue on it, which was very hard to. It was brand new, so it was hard to pull off, but I managed to eventually, in the end, pull it off. And then here's where the pod sits, okay? So on most palettes, containers, they're made pretty well, so they don't very easily come off of your palette. So what you do, or let me go ahead and show you this one. This one's by Sephora as well. It's my little eyebrow container, my palette. And the one that I had on here were these two, okay? So they were in here, and this is kind of hard to get out of here as well. But on this particular one, what I did is I took, you can do a needle, okay? You can do a safety pin. Now the safety pin opposed to the needle's better because you have more of a grip on the safety pin. You can do tweezers. The pointed tweezers are way better than the flat tweezers, because the pointed one, you have a point you can work with. And I also use just little nail scissors. I will say that I bent the tip of it, so if you love your nail scissors, don't use those. But anyway, so what I did is I went ahead and I took the edge of the point of my scissor, and as you can see, pull this a little closer, and I'm just peeling out and off, and there is glue. The way they make them, there's glue underneath the pod, and then they drop it into the appropriate slot, and that is how it sticks on there. So what I did is after I pulled it off, then I stuck it in my Z palette, and there they are. Okay, so this one is a lot easier. The glue wasn't as tough to get through. This one, I literally had to break apart the palette, and then I really couldn't get the pod out. So I did a little bit of research, and this is how you do. What you do is, the reason why I take the bottom part out is so that it was thinner to get through the pod, okay? Children, don't play with fire. Make sure that you're in an area where nothing will catch on fire, and make sure that you have an adult with you. Let the adult know, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. Come watch me. Have a second person around you, so you don't get distracted and you catch the house on fire. Please be safe. Make sure you're aware of your surroundings, and have an adult with you. Okay, be very careful with this. So what you're gonna do now, these palettes do get very hot. So this is just together with a hinge. So I'm gonna hold it on the mirror side, and my pod was here. Okay, my foundation color was here, my powder. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn my lighter on. And so what I did is I very lightly, in circular rotations, I'm not directly touching the plastic, but just far away enough to where the heat of the fire is melting the glue. You do not want to melt the container, or you don't want to catch it on fire, okay? You just want the heat to melt the glue, just like you saw on this particular one where there was glue on the bottom and it was peeling off. You just want to make the glue gooey enough that you can peel this off. You don't want to burn a hole through the plastic, okay? You don't want to start a fire. So you do have to be very, very careful because it does get hot. So once that was warm enough, then I was able to come in with my tweezers and pick it off. And then once I picked it off, then I was able to put it in my palette, okay? Now, in doing so, over here, let me show you how I did this one. So on this particular one, okay, I love the this last shadow here that is for under the brow, to accent the brow. So what I did is and it's just glue that it's glued on with. So what I did is I peeled this off here. Now, if you pay a lot for your makeup and you're picky about it, this may not be the way to go. So just know that. It's just glue. It's not something that I can't come back and put some glue on here and glue it back together and then my palette's back to normal. Okay, this palette, I broke it. I guess I can put glue on it, but I actually broke the hinge on it. So this is just trash. I don't want it anyway, okay? So I undid my palette, and the main reason I undid my palette, and don't you do it, is you don't want to, this is paper, you don't want to go underneath with a lighter because it will catch fire. So don't be smart about it. Don't do that. Okay, so I peeled it off, and this is plastic, although there is still little remnants of the paper and the glue that can catch fire, so be careful with that, okay? So I'm going to go underneath, and this is the one that I did, and I'm not sure if you can see it, it's melted a little bit, okay? So what I did is very carefully, and I'll always pay attention to the temperature that I'm feeling on my fingers in case the whole thing gets hot. I want to very carefully stop with a lighter and then place it down somewhere safe where it's not going to burn anything or anything catch on fire. So again, very carefully, what I did is I went under and I just back and forth, and I gave it a break just a second, go back and forth just a second, and I didn't touch it, okay? I did not touch the container, but with the heat alone, and you can see it even melted here, so you do not need to get too close, and then don't go touching it because it's very hot. So once that was nice and warm, then I came in and I picked at it with my tweezers. Couldn't get it with the tweezers, so then I got with my, with my little corner of my scissor, and then I picked it off, okay? There's a way that it's a little bit more tedious and more time consuming, but let's say that your palette is being very difficult, okay? And you don't want to break off any of the powders. So one way that I saw, and I don't remember who the name of the person on YouTube, it's just a random video I saw, but what she did is she took a thread, or she actually took dental floss, and what she did is she put the dental floss, and it took her a while, she took a little needle, Okay, and she pushed the dental floss down into the edge of the pod in a square shape. Okay, so it was in there. And so then what she did is she, let's just say that it's this here, right? This is my makeup pod. So she pushed it in like in a rectangle motion, like so. And then what she did is she went and pushed it underneath, and then she was able to go rock her dental floss back and forth, and then slide it all the way through, and then the little pod popped off. I tried it. It takes a long time. You have to have patience. Okay, and the reason why she did the dental floss is because sometimes when you're picking at it, and like this one that I did off of this one, okay, when you're picking at it, it will break. Okay, I started to pick at it through here with my tweezers. That was before I learned about the using the heat to get rid of the glue. As you can see, well, I have the magnet on there, but oh, and that's stuck. But there was glue under here that was really hard to get, and I was picking and picking so much that it broke my powder, and it was all crumbly. And I thought, great, my favorite color, and I just ruined it. But I actually didn't ruin it. What you can do, and I also, that happened on my my powder, and I can't really pull it off, but you can also see here that I ruined it a little bit. So instead of throwing it away and having to go buy a new one, what you can do is take a little bit of alcohol, okay, and I'll show you on this one. So you can take a little bit of alcohol, and let me move this out of the way and put this down to protect my working area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop just a, whoops, that was a lot. Just drop a few drops of alcohol, just regular rubbing alcohol. And what you're going to do is you can use a brush or your finger. You can smooth it out. It's powder, okay? Smooth it out however you like. If you're very particular, then you can really take your time, even it out. If you're not liking, you can scrape this, like it has a little bump on there, you can scrape the bump off, put that over on another side, add some more alcohol and smooth it out, okay? And all you have to do is let it sit and dry for 24 hours, and then you're going to have your palette back, or your makeup back, okay? So when you use it, then it's ready to use again. So don't throw your pods away in case they do get cracked or broken. So that is how I created my z-pallet, for the Sephora z-pallet. And so now I just have this in my makeup bag, and I just work off of this. It's a lot easier, faster, so much better than having to carry around all of these things, because this is the color, these are the colors that I use on my face on a daily basis. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that, and good luck with your z-pallet.